So here is my wife's iPhone 7 working perfectly now. We almost completely gave up on this phone because it was doing all sorts of things. First, it started out where it just would go to the screen where it says you have to basically plug it into your computer and repair it with iTunes. So we went through that process, and it would start to try and restore the phone, and the moment it would start, the phone would just shut off and reboot and go back to the same screen. So we gave up on it for a while. I just randomly decided to mess with it again before we gave up on it completely. Like, I don't know, it's like 6 months later, so it sat there, plugged it in, it was doing the same thing. Um, and I just kept trying, and I would do like hard resets and all this stuff. Well, eventually, after who knows how many times I tried this, maybe 10, 15 times, it started getting me to her lock screen. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm making progress. And so I was able to enter in her password and like see the background and the apps and everything. But anytime I would just try and open an app, it would reboot. But then it was stuck in this cycle where it would just keep rebooting. But I was lucky enough that it would eventually reboot and show me the lock screen again. And kind of became a game to me. Like, I just was like, okay, let's just keep messing with it and see what I can finally get it to do. See if I can keep getting it to do anything else. So I tried a bunch of different things. But the reason I posted this video is I wanted to share what finally worked through a number of just reboots and hard resets and just kind of trying it over and over again. Once I finally got it to her screen where she could, where I could enter in her password and get it to her homepage, I just started clicking in different apps and seeing what would happen. And finally, one time, I clicked in the camera app. And what I found is that when I was in the camera app with it open, I could take pictures, the phone would operate normally, and it wouldn't reboot, which was the first time that had happened. And so I was like, okay. So while the camera app was open, I replugged it back into my computer with iTunes open, and I was able to go through the entire restore process through iTunes because I had the camera open. What a weird glitch, but literally we took this thing to the Apple Store, we took it to Verizon, and no one could do anything with it, and somehow that worked. So it's worth trying. Might not work for everyone, but a last resort to get your phone back to working if it's stuck in a reboot cycle, or if you're getting, I think the error I was getting was error 9 on iTunes when I would try and restore it. But now it is working great. So hope this helps.